Hello. This is me. Testing. I am testing. We are testing. Testing the stream. We are broadcasting on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Oh my god. This is all very exciting. Modern technology. Oh my god. Live on Twitter. Live everywhere. Ooh. Yeah, this is public domain music, just in case you were wondering. It's all very exciting, isn't it? It's not something that I put together. But it's all good a test. It's all a test. So get ready, everybody. It's all due to start very shortly. Just for fun, we are broadcasting onto 4 different platforms, and it's using about 2 to 3 megabits per second on 4 platforms. Pretty good for a video stream. If you think that's fascinating, I'm sure you don't, but I do. Don't scare me. Just don't scare me. Don't do it. No. You'll make me scream. Uncle Kage is on the server. Get ready. Just a couple of minutes, folks. We're just doing some last minute stuff. All the losers are piling into the channel about now.
I thought we were going for Halloween music. Why is it soft porn?
This is smooth jazz. Hang on, we haven't started yet.
I love jazz.
We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Woohoo! Isn't that amazing? Oh, here comes Annie. All right.
Oh man, the actual tunes. I love it.
Oh yeah. Getting
Did
down.
I do it? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
It's not really Halloweeny, is it?
I don't
Not
screaming some like
Spooktacular.
Halloweeny music.
Unless it changes to like a spooky song at the end of
Well,
it.
okay.
Terrifying.
Spooky breakdown.
Yeah.
Spooky, scary skeletons. Let's go.
Drop it.
Dropping it. I'm dropping it. It's fading. Ooh.
Now we just need some random screams.
I've only got one. There you go.
That works.
I was about
Oh,
to
there's
scream. I
another.
thought probably better of it.
I got a fog on.
Crikey.
I know.
Not exactly scary though, is it?
It's
Fog.
not. But
Fog's quite scary.
This isn't Southampton Docks.
yeah, it's not. No.
Right, okay, let's get started, shall we? I was going to do the normal sort of audio test that we would do at the start of these, so sorry if your speakers are blown up by the sound of foghorns, but, you know.
Rip anyone's ears.
Welcome everyone to the LondonFurs Halloween special on Halloween Eve. 8:30 p.m. it is. Ooh. Hope everyone is doing well. We are all good in LondonFurs HQ. We've not much has changed since the last meet, to be honest with you. It's been quite a casual time. Obviously with the news that's just been announced, we can pretty much confirm now that there won't be any meets in 2020. We'll be looking for 2021 to start physical meets again once things chill out again. We hope that that will happen, but obviously while the COVID pandemic is happening, we'll continue to carry on with our digital meets and just hope that things get better really. We do know that it's obviously not the best situation for everyone, especially new furs coming into the city, not being able to meet other people. So we do hope that this platform that we offer does help people meet each other and, you know, keep us all sane and moving forward really. I did have a brief chat with our bar manager, who's pretty much echoed of what I've just said. They can't do any sort of private meets until next year, so once like I said, once things calm down, we'll have a better idea of what's going on, and we will let you all know via either the online meets or our social media channels, so please do keep checking in with that. Welcome if it's your first meet today. Just to let you know, the usual format of what we do is we just have a bit of a chat and a catch up here. Today we're very excited that we've got a special guest in Uncle Kage joining us later on, and we will open up the games and the voice rooms shortly after 10 p.m. for people just to hang out and chat. So you will be muted if you're in this channel now, but once we finish up in the event voice channel here, you'll be able to chat to everyone. So we open a newcomers section if it's your first time here. It's a good place to sort of chat and meet people, and then the main sort of voice rooms are good places to sort of chat and hang out as well. So hopefully following all of this we can all catch up and have a chat. So good. We've got quite a lot of staff on tonight, so everyone that is staff, how are you doing? Give us an update as to things and life and stuff. Bav, I heard Bav. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going? It's been a normal busy week as usual. Not much has happened. I actually did participate in a contest today, so hopefully we'll find out if I won or not. There's a video game called Phasmophobia.
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 Oh,
It's like a paranormal activity kind of game where you have to like go around the house and see if there's any what sort of ghost dwells in the haunted house, and you run tests and stuff. So it can be very, very scary. It's a fairly new game right now.
yeah.
And they had a contest, so you had to make like a Halloween piece. So I've kind of done that sort of thing.
Oh, awesome.
Hopefully find out today if we won or not, if I won or not. But I've done it for fun anyway. I mean, the prize is you get 4 copies of the game. So
Share it in the chat, Bav. It's amazing.
yeah, I'll do.
Yeah,
so.
chuck it in the
I'll-
chat. I'd love to see that, actually. That'd be a good
Sure
one.
thing. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's been a busy week. It's great to be. It's great. That's weekend. It's a Halloween night as well. So
Exactly.
Looking forward to this
Halloween
evening.
night.
yeah,
God.
totally.
It's flown by this year, hasn't it? It's mad. It is
Yeah,
mad.
it's already November. Can you believe it?
Lupus Fur, are you there, big boy?
I am,
The
unfortunately.
voice that's smooth and sweet like honey.
Oh yeah, so smooth.
What's been happening?
Work.
Just work. You're always working. Come
I
on, man.
know. It's a thing that one has to do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nothing other really exciting happens in my life other than work. It's great.
I'm excited by the fact you work though. So if that's any consolation,
It's
Yeah,
great.
that is quite exciting.
it's we're excited by that. Noah, what's going on, buddy?
I mean, not much. I mean, for me, it's work again. It's the supermarket, so I've not stopped all year.
Mate.
I was supposed to have a couple of photo shoots, but I've not been able to. A lot of those have fallen through, sadly. But I'm looking to try and. Well, I was looking to try and book things.
Yeah.
That's back on hold again, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not the best, but
No,
it will come back around.
Yeah.
It will.
we'll be ready for it.
Exactly. And it's kind of working, isn't it? I see that as work. You
Yeah, I
need
know,
to
that
go
is I get paid for it. It's work.
Exactly. Akami?
Yeah, just working as usual, but I've recently booked myself a 1-day voice acting workshop on character voices, which is something I really want to get into. So that's coming up in December.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see how that all builds up because, like we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. It was like a couple of meets ago. Yeah, hopefully something comes of all that because you have got the voice.
The
Hopefully,
voice.
yeah. I mean,
The
the voice of London.
The
First.
voice.
Yeah. It's the character side of stuff I really want to get into rather than the boring corporate shit. So I'm hoping to get into that as well. But it'll be a giggle either way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sparks, how are you? How the devil are you?
How the devil am I? Well, I finally got a week off work, but that didn't really last long since I've been doing mostly work in the house and other things. Friends coming around for building machines and lots of other stuff, really. So I've been on my feet for pretty much the whole week. Great time. But, oh well, keeps me occupied, I guess. As long as I make my friends happy with the knowledge I have on computers, I'm pretty happy to do it.
This is it, but you start becoming the cool guy, isn't it? You become everyone calls you with that problem. Like, I can't open MS Word.
I already had to do that today. I went to my mum's house because they needed me to fit some cabling, and I went along, and it didn't turn out to just do some cabling. I ended up fixing half the network out because someone slapped a router in, and then hadn't set it up, so it ended up responding with its own subnet, its own set of IPs, and was just annoying the other router. So I had to go in and sort it out.
What you need to do is just set up an invoicing system, and just post the invoice to them once you're done.
I've got my own service desk, if that counts.
Yeah, that works. Bluey, I missed you on my alphabetical list because you're muted. Are you still here, buddy? Nope. No, that's a negative. And last but not least, Tam Wolf.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, super sweet. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. Yeah, Bit of an interesting week. I've got a week off in November, so I've been planning nice getaway vacation spots, and then I realise I may not be going anywhere.
Oh, it's such a stitch up.
I know.
I
It's
mean,
the first time because as we've talked before, I've been slightly overworking myself. So I was looking forward to having a week off. I finally booked it in, but I'm trying to stay positive.
yeah, I mean, you got to, innit? But it's so frustrating. I swear, whenever they do something, it's just endless questions. It's just like, what does this mean? Can I do this? Can I do that? Like, who knows? But it's all about keeping safe, I guess, isn't it?
It is, and it's only a week away. I'm not going to die from it. So I think, be grateful of the things I've got. It's still going to be a week off from work. So
exactly,
it is okay.
I tell you, I forgot to update you all as to what I've been doing. I did say in the staff chat the other day, I'm now officially a delivery driver.
We all need them. We're all going to be delivery drivers.
Honestly,
this time next year.
Where's my
opened my eyes. It's opened my eyes to the world of like packaging and delivering and driving. It's amazing. I would recommend it if anyone's looking for a job, like in this crazy time, like delivery driver, 100% go for it because it is hilarious.
Where's my Amazon order, Annie?
You order something, I'll bring it to you, baby. Don't you worry. I'm the postman now.
I've got so much from eBay coming, but
amazing. Yeah, it'll probably run past me. Like the things I've seen in these post places, though, the way people treat post, I'm disgusted. Frankly, disgusted. I've skipped past Latimer as well because Latimer was muted.
Hello.
What's going on, Latimer?
Yeah, not too bad. Been to a few more stations. Been train spotting, etc.
Beautiful.
Went to the least used station again. Went back this time with my other half, and we got some photos. I'll post one. Hold on, see if it goes. Come on. There we go.
Beautiful. Oh my god, I forgot to open the event chat and it's all kicking off. Oh dear. Oh, look at that photo. Beautiful. How is Moo doing?
Yeah, he's alright. He's doing okay. He's currently downstairs. We're in the same place at the moment. So
nice.
I'm looking after him, don't worry.
Sup, Dragarth. Good. I mean, it's nice that we've all caught up and we are here late. I'm liking this late theme. It feels like I'm a bit more relaxed. I find at midday, when we come on at midday, which is the normal time for the meets, I feel like I'm going to work. But right now, I feel like I'm chilled. I've got a beer going. We're just having nice, chilled out conversation. So I think I'd like the later thing. I think we should start doing this a bit more. Maybe.
You definitely should do. Yeah, I'm enjoying the Spooktacular late nights, Halloween. We've got a full moon over here.
Full moon in the building.
Halloween, first time in about 50 years.
Yeah.
So, what another thing that we did actually do over the past 3 weeks is we ran a competition, didn't we, Tam?
We did indeed. Yeah, we did. And thank you to everyone that submitted some entries. We had some pretty cool ones in there. And I think we should probably announce the winner, really, shouldn't we? And get into it.
Oh, hell yeah. So for anyone that didn't know what the competition was, what was the competition?
Well, it was obviously Halloween, but we gave it the theme of Haunted London. A bit of a pause there for a sound effect.
Where's the scream?
Come on, where's the scream?
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you for all those entries. And what was? Oh, look at that music. That's lovely.
Bluey, we didn't. Hold on. Stop the press. Bluey, we didn't forget about you. Come on, bring it in. How are you doing, buddy?
Bluey, you did have your chance.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Time off of school, but not really. There's a lot of revision.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, and a lot of jobs to do because we're moving house as well within the near future.
Moving is the most stressful thing ever. I don't intend to move again for as long as possible.
I try not to think about it until it's done.
It's just
More or
I
less.
don't know what's worse, the packing or the physically moving or the unpacking. It's just all shit.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah.
yes.
Sorry. Rerun the press. Tam, bring it back
Yeah.
around.
I'll do the demon scream again.
3, 2, rewind. That sounds horrific.
You haven't done Draco.
How's that?
Thank you.
Right.
Oh,
anyone
Draco as
not
well.
been
Oh my
left?
god.
Because all the
Draco.
stuff was muted.
Draco, what is going on, buddy?
Oh, any work that comes my way, I'm taking on.
Trust me, delivery driver. I'm just flying at the moment. I've become this. It's new me.
You should try roofer.
A roofer, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how's the heights though? Does that not like mash you up a little bit?
I do rigging anyway in events, so
I could get into rigging. Me and you need to talk about rigging actually at some point. I really like putting harnesses on.
Wow, that is a very
I know a good company for those.
Oh,
It's yeah, it's very cool. I'm into the whole rigging thing, but I think like roofing, I don't know, something about heavy weights and being up high is a bit crazy. Does it not like scare you a little bit?
Well, you say heavyweights. A line array weighs a bit.
Yeah, truth. That's very true. But I know it's yeah. I'm just going to get to. I'm thinking about rigging now. I'm thinking about all my times I've been up in roofs and venues and stuff. I need to stop. Tam, no more interruptions, buddy. This is it. Let's get back to
Has
it.
everybody been? Do we just want to take a moment?
Yeah, let's just take a moment. Let's think about this.
who have we missed?
No one.
we got it.
Okay,
Okay.
nobody.
Okay, I'll do
It's
my scream.
confirmed.
Third time's a charm.
Right, let's kick off that music. Okay, there, beautiful. Okay, so we did a competition. It was a Halloween competition. It was called Haunted London. No screams this time. And I think one of the different. He's so late on the scream. So late.
Comedy late.
I'm embarrassed for you, Loops.
That's gonna be late.
So a little bit different to our usual ones. We opened it up to anything creative that you wanted to do. So we had lots of artwork. We had some costumes, pumpkins. We had a pretty cool soundscape as well. But what we all did, we put all the entries into a giant spreadsheet. All of the staff voted for their first, second, and third favorites, and we came up with a winner. So without further ado, I'm gonna put it into the chat now. I'll find it in my files. A nice drum roll. Okay, here it comes. Here it comes.
Bang!
Hey!
There you go.
Yo,
That's nice.
that's very cool.
That's very cool. We've got our London theme going on.
It's
Very
still loading for
haunted.
me.
And well done, Tuffy Dog. There you go.
Yeah, you're the winner.
Yeah. We'll get in touch, and you've won a couple of T-shirts from our Redbubble store.
We'll stick it out
Well
on
done.
Twitter
Well
and
done.
so
Round of
on
applause.
later on.
Try and clap not too loudly next to my microphone and blow everybody's eardrums.
Exactly. Well done. Thanks again to everyone that entered. There were some very cool entries. The soundscape was my favourite.
That was very cool. I like that one too.
Really cool. And we'll be posting those on our social media channels following today. We will put some. I love whoever reacted with the pumpkin emoji. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh look, it's all the pumpkin is just explode. The pumpkin is exploding the chat right now. The pumpkin is kicking off. That's a pretzel. Oh my god. I need to get my eyes tested, man.
Oh, I thought it was pretty good too, mate. It's all right.
That's not.
It's all right,
That's
mate.
not
I thought it was
pumpkins.
pretty good too.
It's just all about the in caps. It's a pretzel.
How freaking dare you, Annie?
At least Kage agrees it looks like a pumpkin. It does look like a pumpkin.
It
Come
does.
on. Pumpkin pretzels. Can you get pumpkin pretzels? Actually, chocolate covered pretzels are the best kind of pretzels.
Well, if Starbucks
Does
can
everyone
do
agree?
that pumpkin spice
Yeah, I
crap,
agree with that.
then you
A
can
controversial
do other things.
statement that fell on deaf ears there, really.
I'm trying to provoke.
I'm trying to provoke a conversation here.
Gold. Well, it's a pleasure doing yet another competition. Thank you for setting up the competition, Sam Wolf. As always, it was a thing of beauty. I think the next competition we need to do is set up a like a short movie one.
That would be good. Where was your short movie with Scooby the dog?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? I had Scooby the dog every weekend since the last meet. I had Scooby here every weekend, and Scooby's wicked. If you don't know, Scooby is a Great Dane that I dog sit for, and she comes and stays over. But she is a she. But she's been here every weekend, and I hadn't had a weekend off. So this is my first weekend off. So as you see, I'm just sort of like relaxing, making things happen. You know, just I'm in a good place. But I do miss Scooby a bit because it got me out and about. Yeah. Dogs are great. Aren't dogs the best?
In some way, dogs are great. It feels really quiet now without that spooky music. I thought I'd gone deaf.
It's all calm down.
There's no need for that. There's nothing scary about an L1.
Apart from the jump scare that it gives you if you're not ready.
Major League Gaming
Like I just
LFM.
did.
Right, well, we should move on to our next section. We are very excited today to have alongside with us a legend. Is a
thanks,
legend.
Annie. Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Yeah, Lupus Fur has joined us all the way from up the road. Now we've got a special guest today. Uncle Kage is with us, and we're all going to jump on video chat just to make this a little bit more spooktacular. So if you're here, Kage, let's get you on and going.
You can't do video chat, I'm afraid, because
you can't do video chat.
No,
Okay.
it's more than 25 people.
Normal chat it is.
Normal chat.
After we did all that makeup for nothing.
There we go. Perfect.
All right, you only get me voice, so I just had to listen to my charming Yankee accent.
Oh, fantastic! It's like music to my ears.
We need to get you some new ears, boy. I can take the hat off.
How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are all of you over on that side of the pond?
I mean, it's one of those. We touched upon it earlier when we were chatting. It's like we've just gone into another lockdown, or we're about to be into another lockdown. So we're all just a little bit like, not sure what's happening. But hey, I mean, it must be the similar over there on that side of the pond. I think things are building to something, isn't it?
Oh yes.
But yeah, no, we're doing good. We are doing good.
Okay, that's good to know.
And what time is it there at the moment?
It's just coming up on 5 p.m.
5 p.m. So like, what time? So
East Coast.
Halloween in America. Tell us about it.
Yes. Okay, well, the traditional Halloween in America is small children dress up in various fun costumes, and they go door to door, and they shout the traditional term trick or treat. And the idea being that they're essentially extorting candy from you. If you give them something that is sweet and nice, they'll go away. If you give them crap or an apple or something stupid like that, they're going to soap your windows and throw toilet paper through all your trees. So it's basically legalized child terrorism.
I swear that's the way my parents always looked at it in the UK. like in the UK, it's become bigger and bigger. Halloween, it's become similar to what it is in America, but I was never allowed to go trick or treating. My
Really?
mum was just like, "It's begging. Why are you going begging?" She's
Because back in the 90s, like it wasn't as like trick or treating wasn't a norm in the UK. I mean, if you knocked on someone's door with a costume, you'd probably it's just not normal. People would give you the stare and close the door, probably slam the door in your face.
exactly.
Yeah,
I think
But
it's why
the
it's our
trick thing's
generation having
crazy.
kids, isn't it?
they'll probably call the police on you, or you get beaten up,
Well,
or both.
it's rather different. Actually, that was the traditional trick-or-treating. It went very much out of vogue, I guess, starting about 10 or 15 years ago when our culture decided that every single neighbor was a child molester and you could not send your children out to talk to neighbors, so kids are not allowed to have fun anymore, you see.
Yeah, I mean, here it's actually I've seen tonight because I was out a bit earlier, just driving around, and there was people like parents take the kids out, and the kids are like properly dressed up, but a lot of the parents are kind of like half-assing, the costumes and stuff. So it's still not quite there, but I mean. I started delivery driving, like I said, and some of the displays I've seen have been pretty crazy. But that pumpkin, I think, takes the biscuit.
Last year, I have some very, very good friends here locally in the state of North Carolina where I live. Their neighborhood is well, it's a proper neighborhood. It's a community. And what their tradition is, all of the parents will set up decorations, and then they'll set up a table, a picnic table or some such, out in the driveway or in the front garden. And the children will come by with their parents. The children get sweets and things like that. The parents get libation.
So
I had a
Genius.
lovely Halloween last year.
I was gonna say, would you just like head out and just pretend to be a parent, just
Okay, that can get you locked up around here because people will get the wrong idea. Although in my neighborhood, there are sufficient people who are accustomed to me going door to door begging for alcohol that it probably wouldn't raise any eyebrows.
It's not bad. I tell you what, it's not a bad idea actually to do like an adult not Christmas, adult Halloween where it's like you just go around asking for alcohol.
Well, isn't that the Christmas tradition of the wassail?
Is it?
It's the same thing. You get a bunch of adults go bang on your door and say, "Give me something to drink, or we're going to sing."
Oh, that's so true. I didn't actually think about that.
Like,
to be fair,
it's like, "Oh my God, here, have some rum. Fuck off." Yeah, it's okay.
The Welsh have something too.
Please don't.
They have the horse.
The horse with the skull on it, and you have to sing a rap, is it rap or
You have to have
something.
a rap battle against the horse. Otherwise,
if you
they
lose, it
have
will raid the
alcohol.
pantry. The Welsh are weird, but we love them.
But they got a dragon on their flag. Don't diss them.
That's the thing. Do not mess with the Welsh. Welsh rugby as well. I was chatting about the rugby earlier because I don't know what's happening in the rugby right now. I'm not allowed to look because I'm focusing on this. But hopefully England win the Six Nations. I think we're getting there. I think France need to beat Ireland, something like that. How's your year been, Kage? What's been going on? I mean, since lockdown has started, I know America kind of followed suit with us, really. We were all quite late to the party, but obviously all of the conventions and stuff over there have been cancelled or postponed into next year. How has that changed the sort of furry scene, I guess, in America for you all, and what have you been doing to sort of help with that?
It has effectively put a halt to it. There's the occasional VR chat thing. Anthrocon did a virtual Anthrocon. A lot of conventions tried to do a VR chat version of the convention. Then the Germans came along and did Eurofurence and basically made it so ungodly incredible that nobody else wants to even try to do it like they normally do. I mean, the Germans, face it, they do not do anything halfway. You can just ask Poland about that. But these guys recreated their entire hotel in infinite detail. So anyway, we've a few virtual things going on, but for the most part, we're all pretty much just hunkering down, waiting for this thing to go away. And thankfully, as our national leader has told us, we've turned the corner. It's practically finished. It's almost gone.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I was telling the guys earlier that, okay, you Brits would absolutely have no concept of what it's like living in a nation that is governed by a bloated fat buffoon with a weird hairdo who does stupid shit just to get attention.
Oh, wait. The chat's just like RPM. Yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not good.
Yeah. But anyway, back to your question. There have been no furry conventions, no furry gatherings. It is starting to look more and more like 2021. We might have to call them off then. There are no conventions that are scheduled through at least the first part of the upcoming year. Anthrocon is sort of holding its breath to see what happens. Let's just say that our first decision point will be coming this week.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, let's be honest with ourselves. The course of this dreadful epidemic is going to be affected by the political climate.
Yeah.
We have to see how that goes.
Yeah. Did I mean, I guess with like the furry fandom, it kind of started online, didn't it? Really, as like, I mean, it grew in itself online, and it's felt like it's become this physical thing with conventions and stuff. And with this now, we all have to kind of revert to being online again and sitting behind computer screens more than like having.
I think that's why I'm not really keen on the whole online thing, because that was it. I come from a world where we worked very hard to get us out of the online and into the real world. Now people are saying, "Oh, let's have virtual conventions." There's one fellow who has been pestering me, saying that, "Oh, we should just have Anthrocon virtually." I'm like, "Okay, dude, not everybody can afford that VR rig for one thing."
Yeah.
Plus, you can only have, a maximum of 25 or 30 people in a given room. So then he said, "Well, how about you run a VR convention alongside the actual one?" And I said, "Listen, I have seen what goes into putting on a VR convention. It's about as much work as putting on an actual one. You're asking me to double the workload of my AV staff? No, let me just leave you with the wise words of my late departed grandmother, God rest her soul. Fuck you and the mule you rode in on."
It's a tough one, isn't it? Have you used that VR chat?
I have. It's fun and I've enjoyed it, but it can get laggy. It's buggy as hell. It crashes. It's very much kind of like the actual feeling of being at a convention at like 2 a.m. Saturday morning when the bar turns on.
Time slows down, people just start saying weird things.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden there's a big blackout and you're back to the beginning and you don't remember anything from before.
Oh dear. It's something that I keep just seeing like screenshots of it on Twitter and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, that looks pretty cool. That does look pretty cool, and I sort of understand the move for people to want to do it. Obviously, like it's cheaper and things like that once you have your setup to sort of be a part of what's going on. And I mean, like the online movement, I guess, it's kind of inevitable, isn't it? Now with the way things are going, but
don't mention
there's nothing better than a convention, really. You can't. It's the same with London meets. You know, once you're at a London meet and you're around a load of people that all love the same things that you love, it's just a buzz. It's just, you know, you miss the camaraderie of it all.
Precisely, and I certainly can echo what you just said. When I went to the LondonFurs meet a number of years ago, it was absolutely captivating because I not only got to meet some absolutely capital people, but you held it in a goddamn bar. It was a perfect world.
Yeah, it's mad. It's a shame. Like I'm hoping they come back around again because we'd love to have you at another one because it has grown so much and it's become such an amazing thing, and it's such an important thing for so many people. It's just tough, really. I mean, we're lucky to have this sort of online format to chat and things like that, but you just can't be being in person and seeing people and just the social aspects, being actually, you know, chatting to people physically. You know, it's like you and I chatting on here earlier in video chat. It's lovely to chat in video chat, but it's still not the same as if you're in person talking to someone, you know?
Absolutely. And I don't mean to suggest anything. This is simply me thinking out loud. And I by no way mean to imply this is something you should do. But if you were to have a whip round to get enough money together for a plane ticket, I would probably take you up on an invite.
Hey, yeah, we should. We'll bring everyone out. We'll bring the whole team over, and we'll have a proper drink up.
That works. You bring Fox and Moore down. He's local practically. I mean, Scotland is like England's hat, isn't it?
Isn't he? Is he up in Scotland?
Yeah, Scotland or Ireland or one of those places. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Scotland. Edinburgh.
That UK, yeah, Edinburgh, yeah. Scotland. Yeah. So, with your ever vast knowledge of the fandom, what have you seen as sort of the biggest change with the fandom from when you first joined, first started getting involved in it, into what it's become now?
When I first was exploring this fandom, it was extremely art focused. It was all about art. That was the central part of it. When you went to a convention, the big draw was the art show, and the biggest event was the art auction. The reason for that was if you wanted to see furry art, that was really the only place you could do it. We didn't have Fur Affinity or anything like that. Now, furry art is available at your fingertips, quite literally. You can get anything you want in seconds. So the art show has become much less of a focus of the convention, but what has become a much greater focus has been fursuiting. Because fursuits, both as a creational art and a performance art, are still something that you really have to go to a convention to experience in large quantities.
And it's insane the amount. I mean, fursuits now at conventions, when you see like a collective photo of fursuits now, you just can almost, you struggle to capture an individual out in a crowd of fursuits, don't you now, really?
One of the AC photos. A lot of conventions, because there are so many fursuiters, they no longer have their fursuit parades because they simply don't have the physical footprint for it. Anthrocon is fortunate that we have a large area that we can have the parade in, and we have a city that has made our fursuit parade literally part of its cultural scene. The Anthrocon Fursuit Parade is a Pittsburgh event.
No way.
So it goes on for like 45 minutes beginning to end. And there's just, I think, 2,000 or so fursuits in it as of last count.
Sorry, how many?
2,000.
2,000 fursuits.
Yes.
Jeez. I can't even picture 2,000 fursuits.
You can't picture 2,000 fursuits. Giza, would you oblige the gentleman? We're going to picture 2,000 fursuits for you in a moment. My bartender is bringing one up.
That is insane.
Too many.
It's the one thing that we in my time of being involved with LondonFurs that I've noticed is that Jesus Christ, look at that.
There you go.
Is that actually? That is insanity. Look.
That's insane.
Wow.
Holy!
It's nice how you got them into like a perfect rectangle, like.
That's my doing.
Squash.
I was going to say, how did you manage to do that?
The
How's the
orchestration
organizer,
for
yeah.
that photo must have been madness.
What you need to picture is in that giant room where this photo is taken from is a balcony. I'm standing up there with a whopping great public address system, barking orders down at these people. There are lines on the ground for them to put their toe claws and such on, but it really is an indescribable feeling when you have this room that is just kind of spread out with these colorful costumes everywhere. And then when I tell them, okay, time to line up, it all coalesces just into that rectangle all on its own.
I'd love to see like the video footage of just even if you like a time lapse of them just spread out, all moving into this like ball of fluff. It's incredible.
It takes about 45 to 60 seconds for them to coalesce into that. There is a video that is taken that got uploaded because to begin the parade, once the photo is taken, I tell everyone to turn to their left. The idea is simply left face. Half of them turned the wrong way.
Amazing.
And what you hear is me saying in this very, very slow rail station or stadium voice, all right, everyone turn to your left. Your other left, you moron.
Oh, gold. I love it. You should sell. What you should do is sell tickets to be in the middle of that.
Yeah, just walk. No, it's to walk through.
Not a bad idea.
It's to walk.
Actually, we did make use of that at one point a couple of years ago. Anthrocon tries to make itself accessible to everyone. We're one of the few conventions that brings in sign language interpreters for people who are hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And I was approached by someone ahead of the convention who said, okay, we have some people who are both deaf and blind who would like to experience the convention. And I was scratching my head. Well, okay, great, lovely. What am I supposed to do? It turns out that one of our interpreters is what we call a tactile interpreter. He is trained to communicate with deaf-blind people. So I had him bring them down to the fursuit parade lineup. You see that, almost 2,000 suits in that one photo.
Yeah.
And I just brought them around. I looked for tactilely interesting suits, things with very soft fur or horns or big ears or whiskers or something like that. And I went up to each one and I said, we have some people here who are both deaf and blind. The only way for them to experience the convention is through touch. Is it all right if you come over and let them experience? And every single fursuiter said yes. Not a one said no, because that's what furries do. And I got to see the expressions on these people's faces, these beautiful, happy, dreamy smiles. They're feeling along the dragon's horns and gently touching along his muzzle. And I would explain. I would say this is Cinder. He is a dragon. Or or this is Giza, he's a cheetah or a leopard or something like that. I don't know, there's some spotty thing. Or this is, this is Puddles, he's a basset hound with those long ears. And then Telephone, the angel dragon, came along. And I said, this is Telephone. Nobody knows what she is. And they kind of giggled. And as they were running their fingers along her horns and her muzzle and her big eyes and her wings, I could see their faces get very confused.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's providing these experiences for everyone, for every attendee. It's amazing that you do that, and it's inspirational, really, because it's something that really all conventions should do, and it's something that it's beautiful that you have the ability to be able to do that, and that there's so many people within the fandom that have these sort of skills to provide that for people. It's an amazing thing, really.
That's one of the, I hate to say it's one of the hallmarks of Anthrocon, whereas it certainly is. I would like to say it's a hallmark of our fandom. You are correct. All conventions, I wish, would do something like this, because we're not there specifically to entertain ourselves. We are there to make everyone happy.
Yeah. The impossible task.
Yep.
No, it's
there's the shot of the balcony. The bartender just put that up there. Why are there so many people up there?
That's genius. It's amazing that what an amazing space that to be able to sort of hire a place out that large. What's how old is Anthrocon now?
It started out in 1997 as a little tiny proto convention in the city of Albany, New York. No one is 100% sure how many people attended because nobody bothered to keep records, but it's estimated it was about 150 people. I saw a question from Matrix Cat. What are those red cannons on the balcony? That is the building fire suppression system. It's a very, very sensitive, quite 21st century system. There are both heat and smoke detectors that if they detect a source of heat and or smoke, those giant death cannons focus in on it and blast it with 400,000 gallons of water per second.
Oh my God.
This is why when dealers say, I want to do wood burning in the dealer's room, no, you may not. I want to cook something in the dealer's room, no, you may not. One guy says, I want to smoke in the dealer's room. Sure, go right ahead. Knock yourself out. Literally.
Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing thing, and I mean, God, the amount it's grown. What's your attendee? What's your capacity for the convention?
Now that's an excellent question. We were just under 10,000. We're not really sure what the maximum capacity would be. We're sure we'll know it when we see it, and the problem is we don't really want to think about it because I'm scared of the day when I have to turn somebody away at the door. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's mad to think about. Even just let's say 10,000 people attend. How do you what's your biggest room? Do you have like a? I mean, I've never been to Anthrocon clearly, and I'm just trying to picture 10,000 people in one area. Well, I mean, I work on events, but I'm trying to work out 10,000 furries in a convention center. How do you cater for that? Really, it's insane.
Well, do remember they're not all going to be in the same location at once. First off, that would be physically possible. The room that had the entire group photo in it, that's our largest space, and it's something ungodly. It's more than 100,000 square feet, as I recall.
Crikey, yeah.
Yep. The convention center itself is colossal, and it is divided it can be either be opened up the entire thing, or it can be subdivided. There are also there's a ballroom which can seat about 2,500 people. That's where we have our stage events. And we have the rooftop. Yes, so it is a well-designed building. It can handle at least 30,000 people, because I know that they have one event that drew 30,000 people last year.
Amazing.
But again, they're not all going to be in one room. Some will be in the loo, some will be getting a pretzel, some will be upstairs, some will be downstairs.
Carving pumpkins, you know.
Carving pumpkins, not lighting up cigarettes.
It's amazing. I mean, in terms of worldwide conventions and stuff, have you been around the world? What has the fandom done in terms of, have you explored the world based in conventions, or is it just, have you pretty much stuck to America and Europe, or?
I've been around. Let's see. I've been to conventions.
Have you been around?
Of course, yeah. I've been around.
Oh yeah.
I've been to Eurofurence in Germany. Hell, I was at Eurofurence when it was in the Czech Republic. We try not to talk about that. I've been to several Asian conventions. I've been to Australia. And of course, I've been to Confuzzled a few times. And RBW, if some of you older folk remember that one.
Hell yeah. I actually went to the last RBW.
Yeah.
I don't recall if I was at the last one or not. I liked RBW. I know there were some things that perhaps might have been done differently, but I still enjoyed myself there. What I particularly enjoyed was the grand death march from the Thames back to the hotel, where all these fursuiters were just marching in a great long line, going past all the bars. And I couldn't resist at the head of it, just calling out over and over, "Nothing to see here. You've had too much. Go home. Nothing to see here. You've had too much. Go home."
You're dreaming.
Exactly.
We had we actually inherited the boat party from RBW. And it's been a staple really the past 4 or 5 years of LondonFurs. The boat party's just been an amazing event, and we kind of tied it into a weekend, but not fully convention style. But it's really good. It's something I missed, and we missed this year, obviously because of things that are going on. But it's a really special event, and it's events like that kind of build up the fabric of our fandom, really. So sorry, I've sort of kind of got on a tangent. Where else have you been? Obviously, you've done a lot of Eurofurence and stuff. Have you been over to Asia and stuff for conventions?
Yes, I've been to the Japan meeting of furries. I've been to Firm in Malaysia. I was supposed to go to Taiwan this year, and that kind of didn't work. There was a Mexican convention was going to be having me down. And so, yeah, I've been pretty much all around the world. Most conventions each one has its own flavor, but they all share that same feature that I alluded to earlier. This line got stolen in a movie, and it pisses me off because it's my favorite line. Something about furries. When we have a convention, what we are saying to the surrounding people is not just, "We're here to have fun, bugger off, get out of our way." What we're saying is, "Come dream with us."
100%.
And worldwide, that is the same.
Is there, I know, without being political, is there a convention that you would say, would you recommend above any others, or would you say that was your favorite?
I had, for many years, said Eurofurence because, yeah, they absolutely go balls to the wall with that convention. They put a lot of work into it. But having been to the Japan meeting of furries, Now, my opinion could perhaps be colored. I love Germany and I love the German furry community, and the Eurofurs are a capital people. But the Japanese convention takes place in a city where there is a sake brewery that makes a special brew just for the convention, and they had a giant sake tasting on Saturday night, and they had 80 different kinds of sake, and somewhere there is cell phone footage of security physically trying to drag me out of the room while I'm digging my fingernails into the door, shouting, no, I want to live here, I'm going to live here, leave me alone.
Do you know what? That's one convention that I've looked at and just been like, I really want to go, just because. Well, I've not actually been to Japan, and I love, Japanese culture is an amazing thing. I love the food. Sake is just the best booze on the planet, without a doubt.
We would definitely get along. By the way, anybody out there who might be saying, I've never tried sake, a little plug, go to my YouTube channel. I have uploaded an educational video for what to look for if you want to try sake. Because people say, oh, I'm going to try sake, and they wind up picking the most god-awful swill, tuppence a bottle, and it's like, no, not that.
Yeah,
Not
pop
the
us
cheapest one.
that link in the chat. We should have that in the chat.
That's right. I have the technology to do that. Actually, can you do that?
People are always asking me in the chat. They're asking me to dig up your link.
Everyone in the chat is asking, like, bring it.
Okay,
Making the bartender do his job. Just stand there.
Now, something you need to know about this alleged bartender. Once we're done talking to you wonderful folk here, we're going to be going and getting some dinner. But that's going to involve driving. And so far, he has had more than I have had. So I have to not drink. And he's swilling down all of my booze right now. So I should be the one called bartender. It's called Sake for Americans, or Sake Basics for Americans. Yep. Okay, he's going to post there. He just did.
Oh, yeah.
There it is, my old face.
Nice one,
Yep,
tracks.
Out of curiosity, what's the Japanese convention called, and when is it held?
It's called JMOF, JMOF. It's short for Japan Meeting of Furries. And it is normally held in the middle of January. Now, they're canceled for 2021. They're going to be doing theirs on VR chat. JMOF is JMOF. No, not J-Moth, not J-Cloth. All right, you got leave the comedy to me, okay? I also, if you could look in my channel, there's the Taiko performance from J-Moth. J-Moth Taiko. We see all kinds of performers. When I saw this performance, fursuiters with Taiko drums, it was absolutely mystical, and I had to capture it. So my barman has just put that up there. So at your leisure,
if Kage, if you know the chairman who runs it, maybe we can try and get him onto the LondonFurs voice chat as well. See what it's about.
We could, although he's in bed right now. It's
no, not right now.
Let's wake him up. Let's wake him up.
Get him on the phone.
Okay, guys, something you need to know about convention chairs worldwide. There is one rule that binds us all together. Never wake us up. Period.
I like that rule. That's a good rule.
All Ears has just asked, by the way, how big a deal is the language barrier at JMOF? It's an interesting question. I was given an interpreter, an absolutely fantastic young fellow who was my lifeline. My Japanese is absolutely piss poor and probably insulting. But most of the folks there can understand English quite well, but they're very, very reluctant to speak it. Because in their culture, if you do something wrong, it's a terrible, terrible loss of faith. It's a great embarrassment.
Shame.
So because they're afraid that they might use the wrong word or pronounce something the wrong way, they just don't try to speak English at all. Although when I talk to them, they can pick up everything I'm saying, or at least they pretend to because they're very polite.
Did what's the main sort of difference, would you say, in terms of a European convention and let's say the Japanese convention?
The Japanese convention is much, much more focused on just social interaction. Yes, they have programming, but there's not a big focus on it. It's
Yeah.
almost secondary.
Okay.
In Europe and in America too, yes, it is a social organization, but we still have programming that we try to make that a draw. Let's see. One thing in particular that is absolutely striking as an American who's used to looking at American fursuits, you can always recognize the Japanese fursuits. They simply look Japanese. They're also skinny as fuck. It's like, really, is there a person in there or a scarecrow? You could basically fit 8 Japanese fursuiters in your average American's fursuit.
It's amazing the difference in style for sure with the fursuits, and I mean, is that carried across in the art as much as do you think, or?
I think so. The avatars they choose, you can also recognize as a very definite Japanese flair.
It's funny. Are there many American fursuits that go over there, and are people? I mean, it's in the UK when you get a Japanese style fursuit or an Asian style fursuit, they're certainly more unique over here compared to sort of the UK or American styles. Is it the same if you go over with an American style fursuit over there? Are people very, do people seem to notice the difference, or what's is it the same for them, do you think?
There were not a lot of Westerners there when I was there. A handful, perhaps. Japan is an expensive trip. You will put down a couple of pence to get there. But it was okay. As I said, the Japanese folks are extremely polite. You could probably walk in there with this raggedy fursuit made up of moldy carpet you found in the trash, and they would gush over it and tell you how wonderful it is and how much they love it. So it's kind of difficult, really, to understand exactly what they're thinking.
And how is the sake?
It was like drinking sex. It was absolute. And I'm very, very serious about that. If you could drink sex, it would be in a sake bottle.
Do you drink the sake cold or warm, or does it? It depends, doesn't it?
Cold.
You drink it cold.
Yeah.
There are some people. Okay, there are those people who drink it cold, and there are those people who are unwashed heathen.
It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And in terms of American cons, are there any American cons that you would recommend outside of Anthrocon?
Wow. How do I answer that politically correctly without pissing somebody off? Okay. Yes. Yes. The answer to your question is yes.
Perfect.
Have you been to many others, or?
Oh, quite a lot. I've been to. Oh, good God. I stopped counting at 200 conventions, and that was about 10 years ago. People ask me to go to conventions. I don't understand why. I drink them out of house and home, but they keep inviting me back. I've always half jokingly said that I'm the guy you invite when everybody else says no, because I'll say yes to anything.
Especially if there's free booze.
It's all about free booze. I find the problem with free booze, though, is you drink too much. because it's free.
Well,
A good one.
you might have to explain this. I don't quite understand what you mean by this too much booze. These strange words are unfamiliar to me.
Does not compute. Yeah.
I will also have you know that my religion actually prohibits me from drinking alcohol that I pay for myself.
Oh, I see how it is.
All right.
Got
How
quiet all
about
of a sudden.
this one? Okay, because Halloween.
What?
We remember that thing. It was supposed to be Halloween, right? What's the scariest?
Oh
thing?
yes, tonight.
What's the scariest thing that's happened at Anthrocon?
Oh boy. Okay. Scariest thing in terms of oh boy, because that can be taken a number of ways. There's been the oh shit, we're going to get shut down. There's been the holy crap, people are going to die. There's possibly the scariest thing for many people might have been my obsessively stalking the hallways looking to murder someone who had set off a fire alarm, and had I gotten my mitts on him, I would have. I was like Freddy Krueger. I'm walking up the hallway, dragging my fingernails along the wall, saying, "Did anyone see who did it?"
The sight that I wish to never see in my life. For if I see it in my life, I know my life is ending within a few minutes, nor mere seconds.
Basically, you see, I had the great advantage that flowing just outside of my convention center is the mighty Allegheny River, which is a fantastic place to dispose of problems. Next question. Actually, hang on. I have another resource here. Mr. Giza, can you, if you were to say what's the scariest thing you've seen at Anthrocon? He's been to everyone.
I don't know about scary. The New York Yankees pissed me off.
Oh, okay, yes. Imagine sharing a furry convention with the New York Yankees baseball team. That was somewhat scary. Okay, I guess the equivalent would be, what if you had a furry convention at the same hotel where Manchester United was staying?
God.
Yes, you see.
What's worse?
That was kind of scary.
Manchester United or fairies?
What about the Millwall?
Twinkle Little Bat is asking, what would you have done if you caught them? I probably would have bitten them very, very hard and continued biting them as pieces were flying against the wall until I was dragged off of them and thrown into the lunatic asylum. There is a saying in the local furry fandom, you don't piss off Uncle Kage. He has a temper.
Has there ever been a fire alarm set off?
Yes.
Furry convention. What do you expect?
Yes. I was. Oh yes, Giza has posted the tweet that I put out that very day. And yes, I was not joking. That particular day, I was the guest of honor saw that I was apparently very stressed out, and being a very kind man, put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Let's get you off the site and get you a drink." Absolutely fantastic guy. He took me across the street to a bar and sat me down and ordered me a glass of wine. And I still recall this like it was this morning. I picked up the glass and just brought it to my lips when I heard the sirens approaching. And I watched as a full complement of the local fire brigade came in, pulled up in front of the hotel and started pulling their hoses out. And I looked mournfully at the guest, and I walked across the street. And I don't specifically recall this myself, but there are people who swear that they saw this. As the building was being evacuated, and the firemen were going inside, literally dragging the hoses with them, I was walking in right alongside them screaming, "Who the fuck set my hotel on fire?" Giza has also mentioned, you're asking about scary things. There are things that are so frightful that you try to block from your memory, and thank God you have friends who bring them up so you can relive the trauma all over again. When we had an elderly guest of honor who I got word was having heart pains in his hotel room, which was on the 23rd floor of a hotel in which all 4 elevators had broken.
Jeez.
Ooh.
So I raced up 23 flights of stairs to see to this issue. That was the same guest of honor whose wife became very, very good friends with my little old mother, and they kept disappearing and going down to the strip clubs at the waterfront. Yeah. Oh no, Mom got Hindra.
Well then.
We've had a couple of questions from people in the chat.
Righto.
What is the most colourful fursuit you have seen from Toffee Dog?
I think that one that Giza just posted there, the lit up angel dragon. There was also what was the name of it? The pinata. You remember?
No, I remember his otter had a glowing tail one year.
This fellow made a pinata fursuit out of neon colored paper, and it was blazingly bright. See it from outer space. It was a very, very lovely pinata, and his shtick was he would come bounding up to you, make some horking noises, and then vomit candy all over you.
I love that.
Oh.
We've got another question from Zorafin. Who is your fursuit crush?
I think I must have several. I certainly do like the dragon Tianlong. He is an exceptional dancer. If you get to see him perform on a dance, he's incredible. From the movie Bitter Lake, a suit that was made by Clockwork Creations, a massive black wolf, Colonel Raiden Dreer. I'm absolutely just, I see that suit and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. So those are the first two pop into my mind.
Pop into your head, yeah. And what, so there's a question from Sparks. He's saying, curious on a technical side, what amount of equipment is used throughout Anthrocon?
What amount of equipment? What do you mean by equipment? AV equipment, office equipment,
general computer equipment.
What kind of equipment do we use?
A lot of laptops to fix registrations. We don't run servers on site. I mean, most of our software stuff is run as a service, so we don't have on-site hardware for a lot of things. For the AV, on the other hand, the dances, they have stuff that I don't even know what it is. You know, they got tons and tons of lights and sound equipment and whatnot.
When we rent equipment for our dances, the comment that I heard last was, "Oh my God, Aerosmith doesn't rent this much stuff when they come to town."
How much? How many days does it take to set up the convention?
We generally arrive about on Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday are the setup days, so it's about a day and a half, a day and 3/4 before we're ready to go.
Crikey! How many staff do you think you have that do that, or how many staff do you have that set up everything up?
Well, how many that set it up? We have a total of about 220 staff members and an army of volunteers.
Christ.
The ones who do the setup, we actually contract an AV company to set up the AV stuff for us, but the rest is done by the staff and volunteers. I would estimate that the setup is done by between 150 and 200 people.
It's mad. It's mad to think about just the size of things, really. Is there anyone in the fandom that you would? I mean, there must be millions of people, but is there anyone in particular that comes to mind that you would say is a sort of unsung hero within the fandom that does things that behind the scenes that no one would really might not have heard of before, should look into more?
Every single person that wears a staff badge.
Yeah.
There are no minor roles for anyone to play. Everything that somebody is willing to do is a critical function. If it wasn't, we wouldn't bother doing it.
Yeah.
So I
That's
would
a good
honestly say, and
answer.
this is certainly no slight to my staff, the people that I think I have come to rely on most are the management staff of the convention center.
Yeah.
Because we have worked with them now for 16 years, something like that. To almost 15 years then. So they know exactly what we need. They know what we expect, how we operate. And they are also in a position to say, we have this capability that we could offer you. Have you ever thought about it? The city of Pittsburgh is very, very familiar with my automatic response, which is always, what's it going to cost me?
It's a good response.
Sometimes they say, we won't charge you. That's my favorite cost. So yeah, those guys have been spectacular. Some ideas that we would have never had on our own, where they said, so have you guys ever thought of doing this way? Like, yeah.
Nitrax asks, how many ambulance calls do you get on a typical Anthrocon?
2 or 3 a night, would you say?
This is why I drink.
Yeah. During the course of Anthrocon, anywhere from between 5 to 20.
Crikey.
And it is almost universally kids that can't hold their booze.
Yeah, of course. People get
I mean, I want people to have fun, but for God's sake, know your limit.
And in terms of Anthrocon, how many? I guess it's a worldwide thing now, isn't it? Was there a time during your time with Anthrocon? Was there a time where you sort of realised, holy shit, this is now fucking massive. This has become this big thing,
Yes. I think when we moved to Pittsburgh, before Anthrocon really took off, it was kind of the tradition for the original furry convention. It was sort of the tradition not to last more than 2 or 3 years in one location. There are many reasons for that. We won't get into those. Anthrocon marked a turning point in the entire history of furry fandom.
Yeah.
In that, after many years of hotels and cities saying, okay, we've had enough, get these people out of here, the city of Pittsburgh was the first venue to come after us and lobby to bring a furry convention to their city.
No way. What? So they got in touch with you to ask you to bring it to them?
Let me tell you a story.
Go on.
We had outgrown our venue in Philadelphia, which is
Yeah.
on the right-hand side of the state of Pennsylvania. And we were casting around looking for a bigger venue. And we looked as far north as New York, as far south as Washington, D.C. We really couldn't find anything suitable. And I got a telephone call one day from a very, very nice lady named Jennifer. She said she was calling from Pittsburgh, and she said, would you bring your convention to Pittsburgh? And, well, my response rhymed with pluck so. And she seemed a little taken aback by that very, very brusque reply. And she said, why not? And I said, well, miss, please don't think me rude, but your city is a festering hellhole. It's like a vast boiling cauldron of pus. And, well, here's what you must understand. I am a native of the city of Philadelphia myself. Pittsburgh is located on the other side of the state, and it had been the capital of steel for the United States. It was, in my youth, Pittsburgh was gray, smoky, filthy. There are many, many stories that housewives could not dry their laundry outside because they bring everything in, it would be black. So this was the impression I had of Pittsburgh. And I told this lady very, very rudely and in an ungentlemanly fashion that I was not interested. So I hung up on her. Dreadful fellow that I am. Next day, she rang me back and said, we just happen to be in your neighborhood. Why don't you come have lunch with us? I said, okay, this bitch doesn't know when to take no for an answer. I said, are you buying lunch? She said, yeah. So I picked the most expensive restaurant I knew. And when I walked in, I expected there'd be a couple of people begging me, no, please come to our city. And I'd be like, no, festering hellhole, pus, no. They had rented a function room in this restaurant. They had a big table. There were 10 people in suits sitting around the table, and they all stood up when I came in. And they introduced themselves round. They were from the mayor's office, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, various hotels. And I was starting to feel a little out of my league. We all sat down, and immediately they started throwing offers at me. We can give you this. We can offer you this. We can make this happen. If you need this, just ask. And my head was spinning. I kept looking from one person to another. They weren't even giving me a chance to answer one when another offer came through. And finally I said, all right, okay, stop. Everybody stop. Just stop. I want to make sure that we are all aware we're talking about a furry convention, right? And they pulled out from beneath the table a old-fashioned 3-ring binder. This goes back to the paper days. They had printed out my website. They printed out Anthrocon's website. They printed out several, what is furry fandom websites. They printed out some websites that I really wish they hadn't looked at. And I was flabbergasted. And I said, well, you guys have really done your homework, and you really want us to go there? And they said, absolutely. And I thought about it, and I said, well, here's the issue. I am a volunteer organization. My entire volunteer base is here in Philadelphia. Logistically, I can't envision being able to just pick up everything and still set up there. It also does not change the fact that your city is the festering hellhole, as I mentioned during our telephone conversation. And Jennifer said, very professionally, we appreciate your input. We would like to ask one thing of you, and one thing only. I said, what's that? And she said, Just come out and see. I said, all right, that sounds perfectly fair. So the following Saturday, I packed a suitcase. It's a 4.5-hour drive to Pittsburgh from Philadelphia. I packed a suitcase and made sure I brought along a respirator and emergency medical kit, oxygen supply, filter mask.
Hazmat. Yep.
There is a saying, and I cannot remember who originated this, but it is perfect. This person said that Pittsburgh is the only city in North America that makes an entrance. You enter the city on one highway that comes around a very, very big hill, and then blammo, there's the city.
Bang,
or you come through a tunnel, and there it is. I came around that hill and was looking at the most spectacular, breathtakingly beautiful modern city that I'd ever clapped eyes on. The actual thought in my head, was, when did they put this beautiful city in front of Pittsburgh? And I pulled into the hotel, and I was greeted by several people. Remember, they'd done their homework. They took me into the restaurant where 3 bottles of my favorite wine were uncorked and chilled and waiting. So this is true. They got me drunk. And I woke up the next day, and they gave me a tour of the convention center, and I was sold. I was absolutely sold. I have been apologizing to the city of Pittsburgh for my initial reaction. I have explained that was the reaction of an ignorant Philadelphian. It does not excuse what I did. I still feel bad about it, so I am doing my best to make amends.
It sounds like an amazing city. It sounds like somewhere I need to come and check out at some point for sure.
Oh, it is. The way that the entire city gets into it. The city literally turns furry. I've got mayoral proclamations that proclaim this is the furry weekend. The city paper, which is the local arts publication, changes its name to the Furry Paper when we're in town. The people of Pittsburgh, I guess collectively, were always furries and just didn't realize it.
Can you imagine if we did that with
needed a little influence?
That would be quite hilarious, but it wouldn't happen.
I guess it's the point of getting people or companies involved in the area, isn't it? That's the case, isn't it? When Anthrocon arrives, and same as any other furry convention, it's
there are dozens of local businesses that do quite a good job when we're around. Cynical people say Pittsburgh just likes the money you bring, which currently is estimated about $9 million a year is what we bring in. And whereas that is undeniable, there is a genuine affection between the city of Pittsburgh and Anthrocon, and that is unique. I have never seen it any place else in the world, and it is something that I treasure above everything else.
It's amazing. It's amazing to hear about, and it's something I'll definitely need to experience at some point because it's it sounds very special. I mean, we've had it on a very small scale here with some of the venues we've been in have really embraced us and worked with us, but it's never been on a citywide basis, and that's really is something that is what an achievement and what an amazing. Do you still work with the lady that called you initially?
Actually, Jennifer got promoted. She is, I think, vice president. She got promoted above the level where she works directly with me, but we still keep in touch. I make sure that credit goes to her. I'm pretty sure she got promoted because she brought Anthrocon in.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is awesome. And it's people like that from an organizer side of things, it's people like that that are just so valuable, aren't they? Because they understand it and they get what you're trying to achieve, and they, you know, you touched upon it earlier in terms of the convention management staff of the actual venues that you work with, that work their asses off to deliver what you're trying to deliver. And they're amazing people. They're people that definitely don't get spoken about a lot, I'm sure.
The relationship, the business relationship of Pittsburgh with Anthrocon is also something that I don't think really exists anywhere else. Yes, we are a business partnership, but it is extremely friendly. It's a familial kind of relationship. We're at a point where neither side is ever going to say no. If the city of Pittsburgh needs something from me, they are very confident I'll make it happen. And on the other hand, if I need something from the city, they will bend over backwards to see to it that we get it. All we have to do is ask. I have only very, very, very rarely had to, kind of growl and say, well, and I always feel bad doing it. The floating tiki bar down there, I still think that was a hallucination. The interesting thing about that business relationship, I think I can trace it back to that very first visit I had. We met with that same giant group of 10 people on the roof of the convention center. And I was standing looking out over the river, and they were all gathered behind me. I guess they were waiting to see, does he like it? Does he like it? Does he like it? And I turned around and I gave them a speech. And I think that no other organization had presented it to them in this fashion. I told them, I said, okay, we're a nonprofit organization. We're not in this to make money. Money is going to come in. We're not interested in keeping it. We're interested in having fun. But on the other hand, that means there is no giant corporation bankrolling this. The amount of money we bring in is all the money we have. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to have our convention, and we're going to bring in a giant bucket full of money, and I'm going to give it to you. And if there is still a nickel at the bottom of that bucket, I'm going to come back the next year with a bigger bucket, and you get to keep it. And if there's a nickel at the bottom of that bucket, I'm going to come back the next year with a bigger bucket. And every year, I'm going to come back, and that bucket of money is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. The very first time I have to put my own nickel into that bucket, this will all end. And in 15 years, we have never had an appreciable cost overrun.
It's mad. It's mad.
And it took that to heart.
It's more value in it, isn't it? In terms of, you can bring a big corporation here and you can have a massive convention and you can make a load of money, but the money you make doesn't have the value of the people that are bringing it. Whereas with a furry convention, exactly as you said, it's people's money that's their money. There's a value in that money because it's money spent with love for something that that produces this community. It's people that are coming here to support a community and to bring that love, and the fact that that's spread around the city is just an amazing thing to hear. And thank you for bringing that for talking about it today, because it's inspirational to hear.
The local police commander, when he first told me this, I thought he was pulling my leg, but he actually showed me the numbers. It's predictable and reproducible every year. During Anthrocon's weekend, the crime rate in the city of Pittsburgh takes a noticeable drop.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Lions
It's
are
and the
lions.
theory is that well, all these lions running around, yeah, you're going to get chewed apart.
I like to think it's the dogs.
The
like,
dogs, yeah,
keeping things running.
Dobermans as well, yeah.
Well, Kage, it's been amazing having you here. It really has been. You know, you are an inspiration to a lot of people, and you've brought a lot of joy to a lot of people within the fandom, and today you likewise. If there was anything today that you could say to everyone that's kind of new in the fandom or has been around in the fandom and is kind of going through this crazy time, is there any sort of words of wisdom that you could pass on to everyone as a parting gift before you go for your meal tonight?
Ah.
I didn't give you time to prep this at all, did I?
Well, okay. If
Philly
you go to a
cheesesteak.
convention,
There you go.
do not think it's funny to pull the fire alarm, because if you do, I will pull off your arms, drain the blood from your body, and throw it into an open pit in front of your entire family.
Wow.
Or maybe something a little gentler.
Wise words.
All right. I'll give you
words.
Okay. You guys are furries. Wonderful. Welcome to furry fandom. Never forget that this is not any other fandom. This is not just a fan group. This is a community. You are part of something revolutionary, something extraordinary, a group of people who are the absolute apex of creativity, the most spectacular dreamers mankind has ever produced. You should be proud of that. There is absolutely no reason somebody should be ashamed of being a furry. No way that they ever should say, oh, I can't tell somebody I'm a furry. Revel in being a furry. This is something that should be a joy to be a part of. Somebody write that down. That was brilliant. Holy shit, we got to remember that.
That's
It's being recorded.
We're recording
To
it,
my
yeah.
knowledge.
This is being streamed, so
That was huge. Thank you, and honestly, thank you for coming along today. It's been great to have a chat and to talk offline and during this meet. And I hope when we do start back up, you will come over and come and meet everyone, because I'm sure there's a mass amount of people that would love to meet you and just love to have a chat and to probably buy you a drink as well. So
I'll
make it worth your while.
I would be more than happy to accept the invitation.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Right, I think that is us for the live section of our meet today. Everyone will be jumping in the voice chats and we'll be opening up the game rooms. Again, amazing turnout today. Thanks everyone for coming along. And Kage, again, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And we'll love to have you back on again at some point.
I'd look forward to it. Thank you very much for having me.
No worries. You take care.
Yeah.
And
now, how do I get out of this, by the way? What do I do?
no, you're stuck here
forever.
You're permanently in here now.
It's not a bad place to be.
You cannot leave.
Okay.
Wow.
Where is it?
That's the dark ending to the story.
Yeah.
Is it the red button at the bottom?
And all the furries die.
No,
there you go.
definitely
Wow.
not.
Wow.
Okay.
Dead.
This
You're
is
already
how
dead.
you get out of here.
Everyone's
The
dead.
fire alarm's going to go off. Let's see what happens.
And that's him out.
And he's gone.
Right, everyone, again, thank you so much for turning up today and coming to tune in. We're going to be jumping in the voice chats and stuff now, so please come in and come and say hello. It'd be good to catch up with everyone. And we'll be starting up some of the games rooms as well, so let's all jump in there. Big love, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody on Twitter, Facebook,
Have a good
and
Halloween.
so on. Thank you very
Have a
much.
good Halloween evening.
Bye.
happy Halloween as well. Bye.
Spooky.